Welcome to the Knife Junkie. Well, welcome to Thursday Night Knives. Oh, man, I was on autopilot there. I almost said welcome to the Knife Junkie podcast. Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. Tonight, we take a look at my very first Vero engineering knife. Custom Knife Factory and Rotten Designs comes out with the third drop of the Evo. And then we do a Blade Show 2021 debrief. But first, it's my first opportunity of the night to show off some knives, and these are all happen to be new. Two of them just pre-Blade Show, and then one of them from Blade Show. And then I have a smattering of things later to show you that I got while I was there. Nick Martino, how's it going, sir? Great to have you. And Nick EDC, also great to have you. Happy Thursday Night Knives, sir. And Ethan, hello, sir. Welcome. Mark Herrera, always a pleasure. Good to have you here, sir. And Chris, Blade Ogre, I've been digging all the Bowies you've been posting. Dave, how's it going? We're giving away one of the knives you donated to the channel tonight. Great to have you here, sir. And by the way, Dave, you would have loved the Bastinelli booth as I did, sir. Awesome. Thank you for welcoming me back. Dave, how's it going, sir? Great to have you. And Quack, always a pleasure. Finally, we're back. Sorry about last week, but you know how it goes. Howdy, Caleb. I saw your haul, man. Yeah, I miss seeing you at Blade too, but I saw what you walked away with, and man alive, did you do it right. Mr. Fileto, great to have you. And Sean, good evening, sir. Yes, okay, so let me show you what I was carrying today. All of these are new. This is the first one. It's a Russian knife from a company called Cristal. Cristal, it's the Aurora. That's the model of this. And Cristal, what I remember is a lot of rappers in the late 90s loved their Cristal. Champagne, fancy champagne. I don't know if that's what they mean when they named this company Cristal, but this is a knife that I got through Levon of the Knife Nuts podcast. Not only is he just a maven extraordinaire, knowing and having all the new knives and all the great knives. Evolved, great to have you here, sir. What's up, fellow nerds? But he is now importing knives from Russia, some really cool knives. A number of them designed by Rogovets. What's his first name? I'm sorry, Braganets. I'm sorry. Hey, what's up, Ryan? Pleasure to have you here, sir. I'd love to see what you got. And this is the new one that he's importing from Russia. It's called the Aurora. And the thing that really grabbed me about this is that amazing fuller in both sides. Yeah, the ground looks inverted, doesn't it? The grind looks inverted, but it is sharp on this edge, very sharp. Comes to a very extremely thin behind the edge down here. Up here, it's a pretty fat stock. So I think that this giant fuller on both sides allows this knife to get very thin down here. I don't know if they cheat it, and bring it in even. I'd have to really examine this in a way I haven't yet, but it's really, really sharp and thin and very extremely light. Can't wait to get my hands on a Cristal. I love Ivan's designs. That's right. You have the Rocat, don't you? Another knife that Levon has been importing a special version of. I got to see them all at Blade Show. He had all of his knives that he's importing. I think 5 in total. At hey, Sean T, great to have you here, sir. He had a little setup at the Sharp by Design booth, when they're our fellow podcast mates, so it was a perfect fit. And I got to try all the knives out, and they are all very cool. But this one really, really polarizing grind finish on that Aurora. I kind of like it. Yeah, I could see that. It's maybe not for everybody. Super light, incredibly light. If we put this up here, you can see how milled out the inside is. Lock side and presentation side. Hey, James, great to have you here, sir. Just taking a look at my new Cristal. Yeah, it is really a cool knife. And something I like about it, first of all, it looks Russian. This is my first Russian knife. It looked like a Russian knife to me. And I love the action. So it's got great flipping action on bearings, as you would expect. And you can also use the thumb studs to slow roll or pop it out with your thumb or spidey flick it. So you get all those great options. But what I really like, hey, Reed, good to have you here, sir. I missed you at Blade 2. That would have been cool to bump into you. But you were at the, oh, man. I spent quite a bit of time at the American Blade Works booth or table, and his Model 6 is just so dialed in. I'm glad you got one of those micarta ones. The micarta was my favorite. Also, the marbled carbon fiber, I have to say, was nice too. Let me just finish on the action on this Aurora. It opens up, as you would expect, super smooth, but it closes, oh, lovely, with that sort of hydraulic feel of a Sebenza, a broken-in Sebenza. It doesn't just drop in. You have to sort of put it back in. I mean, you can shake it and like that, but it just, I like knives that don't necessarily drop. Of course, I also like knives that drop freely, but I really dig the action on this. So you have the bearing action feel on the way out, and you have the really nice sort of bronze washer feel on the way in. Not sure if that will change with time, if that will change with break-in, but I've been flipping this thing and opening it, quite a bit. Been playing with it a lot in the car. It was my all the way down and all the way back to Atlanta driving flipper, and that's 10 and a half hours. Carrie, how you doing? Going to Blade Show West. You know what? Jim totally put that idea in my mind. He's like, it's coming up October. I'd love to, but that happens to be my wife's birthday weekend. And, well, she'd murder me, I think, if I did that. But maybe she'd like to go to Blade Show West. I don't know. Maybe it's worth running up the pole. Somehow I actually kind of doubt it on both ends. Hey, Ben, how's it going? Driving the Great Eastern Cutlery Rendezvous in Titusville, PA. Landed in Pittsburgh just a bit ago. The party never ends. Man alive, Ben. What a great showing you had there. Ben's booth was beset with people in the best of ways the whole time. People were coming up, man, look at these beautiful knives, and they were checking it out. And Ben, as you know from watching him here on this show and elsewhere, just has the pitch down, and he also has the business plan down. This guy knows what he's doing. And it was great seeing him at his booth and actually feeling those beautiful Riot-made, Ben Belkin designed, Jack Wolf knife designed slip joints. They are incredible. And once they are in their production run, anything that he finds needs to be improved will be improved. I couldn't find anything. Each one was spectacular. So I'm really looking forward to getting a couple of my own. So Ben, drive safely, sir, and enjoy Pittsburgh. It's a cool town. Sean says, that's pretty crazy. That Fuller cutout doesn't go all the way through the blade. No, certainly doesn't. 1 millimeter away from being a giant opening hole. You know what? You're right. I didn't think of it that way, but it's pretty close there. It's pretty close. I don't think it compromises the strength of the blade. Not that I will be testing it in any sort of real way. Hey, JN, great to have you here. Hello, knife persons. Grateful Panic, great to have you here, sir. What's happening, beautiful people? We're just sitting here being beautiful, showing off our beautiful knives. Speaking of which, I have another beautiful knife. This one I got at Blade Show from someone. Well, I'm going to show this one second to this other implement. Ben's just an awesome person. He is. And he had some two really awesome friends working the booth. And then the second day, I got to meet Ben's dad, who was super cool. We talked about art, and we talked about a lot of things. I kind of wandered off with him for a little while. And, Ben seems to come from great people too, not just a good person on his own. I really dug hanging out with his dad. I went to art school, so it was chummy. We were able to talk that kind of stuff. So here we go. The second thing I was carrying today, I've been carrying this since I got it. This is another implement from our good friends over there at, let me hold it, put this under the, at Wingard Wearables, who make these really cool ergonomic tomahawks. They make two. I'm on order for their what do you call it? July batch of their other tomahawk that's a little bit bigger than this. This is a spontoon hawk, meaning the main blade here is more like a blade shape than an axe shape. So when it goes into a medium, it pulls out just as easily. You don't have to worry about it getting caught up in there. So as you can imagine, a spontoon hawk is definitely way more about combat and fighting than it is utility. The one that I'm getting from them, the next one, the Back Ripper Tomahawk, despite the name, which is a little aggressive, the Back Ripper Tomahawk is a much more utility-oriented tomahawk. But they also make some other cool things, and this is one of them. And my wife and I had our anniversary recently, and I got us both one of these. Hey, James, how's it going? Easy solution, Bob. Just come to California Custom Knife Show in Orange County instead. That's a great idea, man. Thank you. See, I got all these people looking out for me. Knife shows, man. Funny enough, before this blade show, the only one I'd ever been to was the New York Custom Knife Show, and that was ages ago when I lived there. Finally scored a Scott Cook Loxa at TKI in the first in the perfect user variant. I think I've been seeing that. Been looking for years. So stoked. I think you've shown that off quite a bit on Instagram. Am I right? Thanks, everybody, says Ben. I think he's gotten a lot of support from this group of people here. Knife nerds, as someone just called them. So Ben, it's our pleasure, man. Keep doing that cool, awesome work. I think we all benefit when a friend of ours is making really cool knives. Quack says that's going to serve you well in the weekly tomahawk fights. Yeah, they just happen all the time, and this one I can just stash on my body because it's ergonomic. Incognito, good to have you here. The hawk looks like the head of the aliens from the movie Aliens. It sort of does. This blade here is designed around or inspired by the tooth of the megalodon, Carcharodon megalodon, the big giant prehistoric precursor to the great white shark. Carcharodon. I don't remember. I used to remember how to say it. Just because I was a shark nerd at one point. So this is the Quill. This is a thing that I carry all the time now. This is made by Wingard Wearables, and it was an idea of the company is run by Zach and his wife, Zach Wingard and his wife. And I'm sorry if I knew her name, I've forgotten it in the moment. But she designed this. She came up with this idea. She was like, self-defense things are like there are no real women's self-defense implements. Everything that is sort of marketed towards women is just that, marketed towards women. Painted pink or purple G10, that kind of thing. She wanted a piece of wearable combative jewelry, if you will. So they designed this together on a vacation, and it's meant to fit behind the ear. Now, it's a little large and heavy, but you could easily get used to wearing this behind your ear if you gave it any practice. I did it work for a hot second, and I was like, man, if anyone sees me with this, they're gonna be like, what's that? What now, Bob? But this really fits nicely in the coin pocket and over the belt, kind of over the belt and then resting in the coin pocket. And what it is it's kind of a general tool. It's forged steel, but it is a punch implement. See, like that. Just put it in your fingers, and the fact that it's got a diamond cross section, it doesn't roll, fits really nicely like that. Or for sort of a hammer fist, fits great in the hand like this. Or for sort of a haymaker, kind of fits great in the hand like this. So it is sort of a general purpose kind of get off me tool. And I find it just very pleasing. It's kind of like a worry stone in a way. I just like to have it in my hand and fidget with it. So I carried that. And then next today, my fixed blade. I've been carrying fixed blades a lot recently, pretty much every single day. And this is a new one that carries very nicely and is a beauty. This is from a guy I've been following on Instagram, and I came across his table. He was sitting there with his wife or partner, and I was like, oh my gosh, I recognize these knives, and I really like them. Oops, sorry. His name is Dylan Grace, DG Blade Co., I think is how he goes on Instagram, and he does these beautiful forged blades with different kind of handles, most of them different kinds of exotic woods, and then in these really cool water molded leather sheaths. So I just wanted to show you this because this fits really nicely in the waistband. I am going to get a different clip. I have an ulti clip I'm going to put on there. But check this out. This is like a little Warney scalpel. And so this is forged, and it shows a lot of the sort of forge markings and such. It's got great jimping. It's got a very sharp blade, nice acute point. And then I think the star of the show here is this beautiful Buckeye Burl. So it's stabilized Buckeye Burl wood. And so the stuff that's, some of this is resin, and then the rest of this is Buckeye. And Buckeye, and I learned this from his wife / partner. It from all of the little knots that you'll see in it, and then the beautiful swirling and coloration. And I picked this out of a large group that was there because I got to his table early on in the show, and this one I gravitated towards it. I think this contoured handle really did it for me. And then I looked at it. I was like, this is the one. I got to get this. And then he told me it was Buckeye, and I'm from the Buckeye State, Ohio. So I thought, man, it's meant to be. It's a good thing I bought this knife. So I think I might put a little leather fob on the end. I think that would be handsome on this thing. So first Blade Show pickup, and so this was my carry today. This was what it was. What about you? What did you carry today? I am interested. I love to find out what the viewers here have been carrying. You all have such awesome taste. The name of that company reminds me of Harry Potter. Oh, Wingardium Leviosa. Oh, yeah. Wingardium Leviosa. Leviosa, I know is one because my daughter will say that. Hopefully that doesn't mean die, daddy, in spells. Professor EDC says, Bob, Jim. Hey, Professor, first of all, great to have you, man. Hey, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. We are doing well, and I hope you're doing well down there south of the border. Shane Gables. Shane, great to have you also. Hi, Bob. I looked for you at Blade. No sign of you. Oh, I like your little crying. It was all over, actually. A number of people, I bumped into a number of people, and it was great because some people recognized me, and then I also had the thing hanging here that also said my name. Can you go back to Zen Ali for a second, Jim? Zen Ali, on my way down there, he left a comment. Once I got there and determined that Thursday Night Knives wasn't going to happen, he left a very interesting factoid in the comments, and that is that Atlanta. I didn't bother to check him. They say trust but verify, but you're also classy and believable anyway. And Zen said that, or Ali, I guess I should say, said that Atlanta is the biggest city or the only city in the country that is completely surrounded by a national forest, which I thought was a really cool fact. And it seemed to make sense because it seemed like I drove through trees forever to get there, but really the whole trip is a sort of a big wash, and I can't remember what portion of the trip I was driving through tons of trees. It was somewhere around 85 or something. But anyway, interesting factoid. Thank you, Ali. Dave says, carrying my Ferrum Forge Protec Mordax. I love that knife. I've never held it, but I love everything about it. Love the way it looks, and it seems to be such a fun, fidgety kind of knife. Good choice there, Dave. Mark says, Benchmade Grizzly Ridge. Love the Grizzly Ridge and the Tucson TS221. I know I'd love it if I saw it, but I don't know which one that is, man. I just don't know Tucson's from a hole in the ground. Daniel Kurt Custom Mini Sabo Tanto. Oh, man. That's the one I think you've been posting that one a lot. I'm pretty sure because I remember the name Mini Sabo. I think you missed, that was a typo there, but oh, man, Ryan. Right, it seems like it's been a good season for you so far. Caleb, today carrying my Keynesian Stray, Keynesian Stray, Keynesian something else, and the Sharp by Design Micro Evo Typhoon Knife Nuts Podcast Edition. That's what that teal colored micarta, right? That sort of teal denim micarta. Very nice. Scott N., great to have you here, Scott. Got the Spyderco Dragonfly in crew wear today. Very nice. I do not have any crew wear. Do I? Oh, I do. My Sasquatch is crew wear, and I'm told it's great, but I never use it. Just kidding. Carried Cold Steel Recon 1 and Chris Reeve knives in Cozy in S45N today. Well, I can say for sure I have 0 is the S45 I have. Funny thing is I got my Spartan Harzy folder like a month before they started using S45, and now I kind of wish I had that, but why? Because it's a different number, I guess. MBK Slayback and Field Trekker. Field Trekker. What's the Field Trekker? And what's the Slayback? You should come on and show me these, because they're both on the tip of my tongue, or on the tip of my mind, I guess. I carried the Sheepdog XL today. I love that knife, Shane. That's a cool one. That was the giveaway knife, or recent giveaway knife. Chris had his Spartan Blades Aster, nice choice, and Orion Solaris, also a great choice, man. That's a cool one. So David, who put that out, well, he was prototyping it for about 1.5 years, and a lot of us got to see it through the pass around group and such. And then he did that drop, and I know that there were some production holdups with COVID, but hopefully everyone has kind of gotten their knife at this point. And hopefully I'm not mistaken on that, and I'm not. I was carrying the M4 Yojimbo 2 in brown micarta. Nice. Tops Street Scalpel. That's what this kind of reminds me of, Nick. This DG blade reminds me a little bit of that Street Scalpel, just a little bit thinner. I was checking those out at the Tops booth. That Tops booth, just piles of knives. I was like, oh God. And I meant to come back and get an unzipper. That's their Lioness turned Pical, which was really nice, except I would have to grind the back, the pommel a little bit for the thumb. Street Scalpel, and then in the waistband, Concept Mini Main Street in the 5th pocket. Oh, you had the Street Scalpel in the waistband. Mini Main Street in the 5th pocket, and your Olight Warrior Mini in camo. Dang, man. So the M4 Yojimbo 2 in brown micarta, is that the one that you bought from me with a replacement scale? Or I'm pretty sure you had an M4 Yojimbo also with the uncoated blade. Is it one of those two? Ali says, it's the largest city in the world wholly contained in a natural forest. That is cool. Ali, do you live there, or is that just something you happen to know? I have a lot of those kind of facts banging around in this whole mind here. Hey, Matt Harvey, great to have you here, sir. Artisan Cutlery slip joint in 12C27N. I'm a big fan of the Sandvik steels. As a matter of fact, I have this Cimarron here. Very cool knife from Finch Knife Co. We just spoke with them on the show. That'll be airing in several weeks. And this has a really sharp, was this 14C28N blade. I love Sandvik steel. It's I don't know. I just dig it. Maybe it's because it's Swedish. I don't know. But it takes a nice edge. It's easy to maintain. It's very stain resistant, and it's reasonably tough and edge retentive. So always dig it. Quack says, was playing around with the Zirconium Custom Sharp by Design Void XL. Do you mean you were playing around with it at Blade Show, or you own one and you've been playing with it right now? Because that would make the envy factor jump. Arcane Crawler, sweet, and Spyderco Chaparral. I got a chance to talk with Israel while I was there and check out the Crawler. That, I have the double-edged, not the Necronaut, that's the Tanto. I have the double-edged. I love it. And the next one that I want to get from him is the Crawler. And I was checking that out. Beautiful knife, beautiful action, great ergonomics, and that awesome blade. It's sort of like a Yojimbo in space. JN started with the black aluminum handles, the Malibu, and the Malibu and the Launch 6. I got you. Nice. Very nice. You say you started with that. Was there a wardrobe change when you got home from work? James says, I have 2 pocket knives today. I have the Ozark Trail 3612 assisted opening pocket knife, and I also have the Ozark Trail 8602C camouflage pocket knife. I'm not sure which ones those are, but I've had a couple of those Ozark Trail knives, and man alive, you get some serious bang for your buck. Not only are they very useful tools and inexpensive, but they look good and they're put together well. Which makes you suspicious, not suspicious. It makes you wonder, like, can't we all make knives that inexpensive so we can get our hands on everything? Dig that. JN said the Eldris, of course. The Eldris. Oh yes, you're always carrying your Eldris. I like that. Do you wear shoes? I'm just curious. Are you like Cody Lundeen, always with your neck knife? And that's not an insult, at all. I realize that sounded snarky. Cody Lundeen's a bit of a tool out here, but if you're watching Cody, I think you're great. John Evans says Liang Ma field duty today, EDC, nice, and a Finch Runtley. Funny you should mention the Finch Runtley. I have one right here. I dig this knife. I really like Finch knives, period. I'm really liking them. Hey, Jim, can you go back to the comment right before this? I missed it while I was... Oh, Monster. Great to have you here, Monster. Everyone, please remember to hit that like button and show Bob and Jim your appreciation. Thank you very much. There's a podcaster that I listen to who says, he's a funny dude, and he says that he finds that people end up hitting the like button more if instead of saying, please hit the like button, he says, hit the like button. Do it now. So I'm telling you, do it now. Thank you, Monster. Always helping out here. Liang Ma Field Duty, beautiful knife. My Knife Style. I like that name. Good to have you here, My Knife Style. I picked up the Blade Show Protect Malibu DLC reverse Tanto with abalone button. Carried that for 3 days straight. That's cool. When you get a knife that you really like, you just keep carrying it and carrying it. That has been the case with this, frame lock titanium flippers. I love them, but they're not generally my first choice. But I've been carrying this thing a lot, as I have another knife that I'm going to show you downstream just a touch. The Shirogorov F95R and Waypoint. Very nice Groundhog 83. The Waypoint, though. What's the Waypoint? Someone remind me. What's the Waypoint? I know what the Shiro is, and I would love to have one of those. You need to have Dan Court on the podcast, ASAP. Incredible maker, taught by Jeremy Marsh. Would also like to have Jeremy Marsh on. So I have I'm going to write this down, sir. I have a long list of people whose flesh I pressed and who want to come on the show that I'm reaching out to. But Dan Court is gonna make it on there because I'm gonna write this on my list. Jeremy Marsh, just for good measure. Okay, sorry about that. You don't need to see me taking notes. All right, Kane. How's it going, Kane? What's up, everybody? Currently in hand and pocket, I have the custom Peña Mula. Nice. And the Romano Lanny's clip. Romano. Now, I know what a Lanny's clip is. I don't know Romano, but I like him because he sounds Italian. So, very nice. That sounds like two slip joints there. Oh, no. The Mula is, or the Mula is isn't that a front flipper? LT Wright, Great Plainsman, and a Cold Steel Range Boss. Sounds like Sean C's ready to do some work. Very nice. I love LT Wright. I love those. Do I have any? I don't have any LT Wrights. And he's making someone else. Oh, he's doing LT Wright does the knives for Nordic Knives. That's David C. Anderson's personal brand. Bumped into David C. Anderson, got to see his little pocket knife that he makes through LT Wright. Beautiful little piece. Ricardo Vasquez. Hey, Ricardo, great to have you here. Para 3 S30V in all black G10. Very nice. That sounds just like my Para 2. I have a classic Para 2 and S30V and all black blade and G10, and I love that thing. It's taken a lot of abuse, and I ignore it and only pull it out when something nasty needs to be done, but it always rises to the occasion. The Monterey Bay Knives Slayback is the double D10. Okay. and the Field Trekker is a convex ground fixed blade. You had me at convex ground fixed blade. Love it. Grateful Panic always carries a fixed blade. I love that. I love that. And I'm not sure if you carry it on the belt or if you have to stash it in the waistband due to your location and lifestyle. But however you carry it, I love seeing belt knives, seeing people carry fixed blade knives, even if it's around the neck. And that was a cool thing about Blade Show. You walk around, everyone's got a knife at least visible, and many on their hips or big things sticking out of their backpack or attached to their backpack. I loved that. Mr. Fileto, can't put down the Grimsmo Norseman, customized by Sean Campbell with a shipwreck titanium theme. That sounds cool. Have I seen that, Mr.? Have you been posting that? Now I don't remember. I've been seeing a lot of Norsemans recently. I guess the people that I've been, or Norsemen, I guess. A lot of the people that I follow on Instagram have been showing their Norsemen recently. And I can't remember if I've seen yours. Born, bred, and buttered right there in Hotlanta. I know Hotlanta is a 20-year-old nickname, but you know, they say that people kind of stick with the fashion and the words they were using when they were in their 20s, and so Hotlanta keeps coming out of my face. Nick Martino, yes, it is. I have both versions. The Blade HQ Yojimbo. Now I took your blade and hardware and put my Micarta on it. Ooh, oh, yes, I have seen that. I think it's brown Micarta, if I'm not mistaken. I think. Grinding Knives. Great to have you here, Grinding Knives. Good evening, fine gents. And there might be a few ladies here. Sometimes there are. Had my Concept BDC TAC prototype on me during the day, and my Kirby Lambert. Oh, God, I need a Kirby Lambert in my life. Kirby Lambert knife in my life. Dress Hooligan, an old vintage Westinghouse Micarta scales, and Nichols Damascus blade. Jeez, oh, Pete, man. I think his knives are just... You know, there are some things that you get to love. There are some things that are acquired taste. I think you could never, ever see a knife in your life, and you could see a Kirby Lambert knife and know that it's a beautiful knife. Nicely done. I don't know what the first thing you mentioned was. Jim, do you mind going back for just a quick sec? Oh, the Concept BDC TAC. What is that? I dig them. I dig their knives. I think I might know what that was. I was at their booth and met Ashton, who was covering for someone there, and what a great guy, and was checking out all those knives. But now I don't remember what the BDC TAC was. Sorry. If you don't mind, drop a little description in the comments so I can remember. Quack says, I own the Void XL and have been loving it. Cool. So it wasn't just playing with it at the booth. You're hanging out there right now in its presence. Lucky man. Incognito says, I carried a Vaquero and a with armor black lynx. For a second, I saw with armor and I thought Warhammer. I'm like, he carried a Warhammer? Man, I got to up my game. But what is a with armor black lynx? Very cool. Especially the one that I know. Shane says, Bob, did you see how much that Koenig auction topped out at? I did not. Did you? I will let you know. This is one of those late to the party things, which is a frequent problem of mine. But this past weekend at Blade Show was the first time I experienced a Koenig Arius in person, picking it up and playing with it. And I was like, damn it. You know, it's totally, totally worth the hype. Fortunately to me personally, don't take this any offense, to me, it doesn't check all the beauty boxes. I know TJ Schwartz designed it and he's awesome. And I know Koenig knives, man, holy crap. The knife itself is just incredible in hand, feels great. The action is just amazing. Everything about that knife was amazing. Luckily, I'm not like so drawn to the looks of it that I have to surrender $650 for it. But man, are those Koenigs worth the hype? And I did not see. Did you see how much, Shane? If you saw how much that it topped out for, let me know. And there were some beautiful variations. I love my Runtley, says Nick Martino. Yeah, me too. They're cute. It's actually designed after a fishing lure. Interestingly enough. Professor EDC, the K-Bar BK40. Those are cool. I really like the looks of those. I don't have one, and they're also reasonably priced. But I love the blade shape, that sort of clip point Bowie shape. And oh my God, Stasa, good to have you, man. I've been watching you on Instagram, and you got some amazing knives and had some really great luck. And winning some of those. Did you win like 2 auctions or not auctions, but contests? I'm bummed I didn't see you there either, man. That would have been great to see you. What's up, Bob? I'm so bummed. Okay. Oh, quiet carry. You're carrying a quiet carry. You got some cool stuff at that show. And I hope you had a wonderful tropical vacation, sir. The Romano is an OG slippy custom maker who... Romano is an old school slippy custom maker who created the dyno pattern. Interesting. I'm going to have to look this guy up and the dyno pattern. Or is that Dino, like the Ferrari? Romano and Dino. Probably, I'm going to go with Dino. Because if it's not after the Ferrari, maybe it's after Dean Martin. Kaiser Aeolian and the Victorinox Tinker. Always with the Victorinox Tinker. I have massive respect for someone who's got an actual EDC. And that is an actual EDC. Ricardo Romano equals Brazil. Okay. Or is from Brazil. Okay. Well, I'm betting his parents were Italian. No, I'm just kidding. Nick Martino. Yes, it was. I took the blade and hardware off and put my card on it. Very nice. Very nice. I'm wondering, Ben, do you have any Romanos in your collection? You have some pretty nice exotic slippies there. Zen Ali, I was carrying 4 knives at Blade Show. Oh, okay. All right. Met you at the TRM booth. Then I know who you are because I only met 2 people at the TRM booth. Awesome. Oh, man. How about that Shadow? That knife is amazing. That's their new... I think Stasa got one of those. What a cool knife that is, man. Beautifully designed, beautiful ergonomics, and man, they got the bar lock down. Belt carry vertical on the hip or horizontal appendix, depending on the fixed blade. Nice. Horizontal appendix, that's pretty gangster right there, right up front. Like that. Caleb, got work earlier than usual. Good night, y'all. Hey, Caleb, thanks for joining us. Next week, come on here like you did last week or 2 weeks ago and show us what you got. I know you got a couple of sweet Bally songs. Love to see some of that. Kane, Ricardo Romano from Brazil makes incredible custom slip joints, and the Mula is the larger one with studs and the front flip. Okay, all right, cool. I need to get behind the wheel of a Pena. I don't have any Penas or really no actual experience other than with my eyes. Shout out to all the women in here loving knives. That's right. Shout out to all the women here loving knives. All the women here loving knives. I'm just kidding. I know that there might be a couple. We have Lindy Lou here sometimes. We have Christine here sometimes. That's women carry knives. So that's good. Dave says the drop Brad Zinker dog tooth on the way. Very nice, man. I like Brad Zinker's designs. I like how just neutral and streamlined they are. Very cool. Cold Steel's new stuff coming out looks pretty awesome, huh? I got to be honest. I spent some time at the Cold Steel booth, but that was to talk with Josh Ballet, or you know him as Jimmy Slash. He was working the counter there. What an awesome guy. What a great guy. And then I also met Keith, who goes by Stickman. I don't know if he goes by that, but that's what he's been sort of nicknamed. The new guy who works for GSM, who's in not control of Cold Steel, but Cold Steel has been assigned to him by GSM. Very nice guy, and he's agreed to come on the show. I'm very much looking forward to talking Cold Steel with him. Lynn Thompson, I came, we were like ships in the night. I came very close to having him on the show, and this was over a year and a half ago now, and it didn't work out. And I think he's just, I think a whole hour of him talking off the cuff is not in the cards. I would like that, and I would be gentle, but no. Last I looked, it was $7,200. Wow. Well, there's no accounting for taste, and there's no accounting for love of inanimate objects, and we got it bad. We got it bad. So I could see getting in that fugue state and just being like bidding. No, I want it. 7,200. My God. Made out of gold and unobtainium. With Armor was a company that used to sell then Black Lynx. It's shaped like Vaquero, but with a karambit ring. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. I saw, for some reason, that just made me think of an out the front karambit that I recently saw, but I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that company. The BDC tack is a Mikkel Williamson collaboration button lock flipper. Ooh, cool. Hasn't been released yet, but mine has marbled carbon fiber inlays and Damasteel blade. Fantastic piece in action. Bob, check out my IG. Okay. I like Mikkel Williamson. I like the concept of his knives, his urban tactical. Grinding IG. All right, will do. Posted a photo of the BDC tack earlier. Awesome. My phone currently is being used for the knife cam. And speaking of knife cam, I have the knife to show off. Hey, Hawaiian Knife and Gear. Great to have you here. Man, it must be, well, I don't know what time it is there, but I bet it's nice and warm and sunny right now. I won 2 lotteries, the BBM and the TRM Titanium Shadow. Jeez, oh man. The BBM, that's the Nick, that's the collaboration, that collaboration knife. I know it. I can visualize it. And the TRM Titanium Shadow. Well, I played with that Shadow before you won it, and I'm here to tell you that's an awesome knife. I learned that John Demko sharpens TRM's knives. Huh? Really? I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. I had a nice long conversation with John Demko, and he's going to be coming on the show. I'm going to be interviewing him at the end of the month. He's a cool guy, man. And, maybe the unsung hero of that place, because he's got a lot of the business part of it buttoned down there. Very, very nice guy. Got my first Emerson last week. Nice. Sheepdog spear point. Very nice. I like those sheepdogs. I don't have one, but I really like the look of those knives. And they do the mini beautifully. I like their mini version. Benjamin DiMaggio, great to have you here, sir. Was Off-Grid Knives at the show? If so, anything good? Funny you should mention Off-Grid Knives. I did not see them there, but everything I've ever handled by them is good. And this is the perfect segue. Thank you, Benjamin. This is greatly appreciated. It's like on cue, because I'm about to tell you what the Gentleman Junkie knife giveaway for this month, which the drawing will be next week, is. And this was donated to the channel by our good friend Dave. You know him as This Old Sword Blade Reviews. He's been commenting tonight. And it's this. The Off-Grid Knives Rapid Fire in Coyote. Look at this beauty. Oop. Excuse me. That's what you get when you guzzle coffee right before you go live. This thing is beautiful. So you got this awesome recurved D2 blade and beautifully milled G10 and a super robust build. This is a frame lock. It's assisted and it fires out. It's like a ProTech. It makes, if you have any, I'm not going to call it arm fat. If your incredibly muscled arm is in any way relaxed and you open this, it will all shake. Let me put it that way. This is it kicks really strongly when it comes out, and but it closes up pretty easily one-handed. I'm not sure how they do that because it feels like it should be harder to close, but it ain't. You've got a beautiful loop over clip. I like the way they do that with the recessed screws, so it's not going to jack up your pants. Though I would probably, you know what I do whenever I get a new knife, I usually end up sanding down the G10 under the pocket clip. Just to sort of preserve my wardrobe, because all of my money goes towards knives and not wardrobe. So you have that. Recurved and hollow ground. I imagine it's extremely sharp, but I've been leaving this pristine. I haven't carried it or anything. I haven't used it or cut paper with it. You've got really nice ergonomics on this. Let me show you the knife that it just keeps reminding me of in my collection anyway, and that's the old ZT 200 0200, a Ken Onion design. It's got some of the same sort of hallmarks, a very nicely contoured handle, contoured in this direction, so rounded, but also pocketed. Like this pocketing actually reminds me of the pocketing on the ZT 0562 or 560. There are these little octagonal pockets that really grip your hand nicely without being rough or anything like that. But I think the real attraction here is that blade. The blade is incredible, and I'm a sucker for the recurve. And I don't know why I think people perceive recurves as being difficult to sharpen. And I would say perhaps they present a challenge if you sharpen your knives on flat stones, big, wide, flat stones. I don't. I've always used like a sharp maker and a strop and those kind of things, and or even on a KME system, it's not hard. So don't let the recurve throw you off. So this is the knife for the Gentleman Junkie giveaway. I'll be showing this off again on Wednesday's supplemental, just to remind you, next Wednesday. Whoops, left hand there. And it'll be sad to see this go, but it's been in my on deck shelf for a while. And before I actually pick it up and start carrying it, sometimes I'll do that. I'll have a knife, and I will have bought a knife, say, and I'll sully it just so that I can't get rid of it. And then downstream, I'm a little bit like, why did I do that? I should have just been disciplined. But I'll take it, use it once, and then since it's used, it's not as easy to get money for or something like that. So this pristine off-grid rapid fire Coyote is your Gentleman Junkie giveaway knife for next week. It's always the third Thursday of the month, except a couple of times we've had to move it around because of whatever circumstances and such. But there you go. So thanks for bringing that up, Benjamin DiMaggio. Muchly appreciated. I did not see Off Grid, and actually I was just thinking of them tonight because the knife I was just showing you is sort of the folding version of this knife by them that I love, that my dad got me for Christmas after he heard the Off Grid interview with Carrie. He's like, I really like that guy, and I really like their knives. I want to get you one for Christmas. Which one do you want? And so I sent him a link to this, and I just love this knife. This is the back country, but as I like to call it, I'd like to call it the back alley, because to me, I know it's supposed to be for outdoor and stuff, but to me, it would also make a really good tactical knife, really good fighting knife. And how cool would it be if this back edge were sharpened too? But that's what I say about every knife. So let's see, actually, before I put this away, you can see the shared DNA there. But this one is mine. The other one can be yours. So did not see them at Blade Show. Greetings, Keon, GR75. I think Keon, is that how you pronounce your name? Great to have you here. In any case, greetings, an old combative Edge M1. I have one of those. I love that knife. And the GEC 15 in the coin pocket today. We have some distinguished taste here, people. Too bad Atlanta is so far away from Greece. Oh, my man's in Greece. Okay, I think you've been on this show before. I know you've been on this show before. I have. So do you have the combative Edge with the Coyote tan handle, or is yours with the black? Mine is the Coyote tan, and I got that knife, and it is a I got it, when it came out, and now when you look at it, it doesn't flip, right? You hit the flipper in it, and the blade just goes, because the flipper was meant to be a finger guard, because obviously with the name like Combative Edge, it's a tactical knife. But what a beauty that is! Talk about a beautiful recurve blade. I love that knife. Well, welcome, Keon. It's great to have you here from Greece. I spent my honeymoon 2 weeks on Crete and a couple of days in Athens. I love Greece. Got my Strider AR-75 in bronze, Anno First Grail. Nice, man. That's a cool looking knife too. That's a collaboration between Strider and Medford, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, Alex, great to have you here, sir. I need to give you my. We'll talk offline about your video. He's doing cool video stuff. Alex of the Knife Box channel. Check out his videos on YouTube. He's making some really cool stuff and really like flexing his creative muscles and making just different kind of knife videos. And I really like that. And I always liked his knife videos, his, close-up tabletops, but these are different. These are really different and really cool and refreshing. And to me, every one of us has something great to bring to the table, something unique and new to bring to the table. But what Alex is bringing is really unique and really cool. So nicely done, Alex. Yep. Along with Demko's sharpening TRM, I also learned from someone at Blade who talked to the makers at TRM, has been Spyderco's G10 supplier for the last 30 years, almost becoming a sister company. Well, TRM started out as suppliers of titanium and titanium parts to custom knife makers and small manufacturers, and decided, hey man, we have all the parts here. We could make us some pretty sweet knives, and so that's what they did. And Marianne and Les Halprin, the man and woman, the couple who run that, are really awesome people, and I'm sure you know that from going up and talking to them. But they're great people. I met Les for the first time this weekend. So it was cool. It was cool. Actually, while we're talking about them, I'll get to you in just a second, Hawaii. While I was there talking to her, she gave me, which I thought was very, very nice, these cool scales for my Atom. I was kind of oohing and eyeing over them because they're, as you can see, it's that thick weave burlap micarta, but they also have that really refined milling, that wing pattern milling in this, which is so cool. I didn't know that they could do both of those together, have such a big weave, like loose weave, I should say, micarta, with such refined fine milling. And man, how beautiful, and how nice of Marianne. She gave them to me, because I'm a great guy. No, she gave them to me just because, I don't know, I couldn't make up my mind or something, and she was being very nice. So thank you, Marianne. I know you're not watching, but I'm just going to put it out there into the ether. Thank you, Marianne. Much appreciated. Hawaii, that is nice. I still want an off-grid Rhino. Oh, that is cool. If anybody has one to trade, the Rhino is a cool knife. That same Christmas, that was last Christmas, he said also, pick out a knife out for your brother. I want to get him one. And I picked out the Rhino, and my brother loves that. That's a cool looking knife, gotta say. Hey, what's up, Ezekiel and Jonathan? Great to have you here. We see an off-grid. That's right. This is what you could be winning as a gentleman junkie, as you guys are. Next week, we're giving this away as donated to us by Dave, this old sword blade reviews. It's in pristine shape because I only bring it out to flip it open. I love the action on this thing. It is insanely powerful. This whole thing is insanely powerful and robust. I know robust is an overused word, but hey, sometimes it fits. So it certainly does in that situation. Great to have you guys here. I love recurves, one of my top 3 blade profiles. I'm with you. Recurves are awesome in all of their forms, whether it's this kind of thing. I love a recurve Bowie. How cool is that? And who doesn't like a kukri? Who? Scott, and I'm impressed with off-grid knives. Me too. They're making some really cool things. They have this, it looks like a camp knife mixed with a sax. That's like something new that they have. I can't remember what it's called. I'm sure Ezekiel has one, but I really like the look of that. It looks like, great knife to just take out and bang. There's a bang on. There is a kukri vibe in these recurve knives that are really intriguing. I'm with you, Richard. I'm with you. Naf Sergeant, what's up, man? Great to have you here. Spartan Harzy folder today. A classic, a modern classic. They're also very cool people. Curtis Iovito. I met him. He and his Curtis Iovito and his son were having breakfast at the breakfast buffet in the hotel I was staying at. And so on my way out, I had to stop by and say hi. And I wanted to make it really quick because I didn't want to be, I'm sure they have people all the whole time. You're too kind, but it's not kindness, man. It's appreciation. But I wanted to keep it quick, but they like talking. So we had a nice chat. That was cool. Optimus Crime. What a great name. AD 20.5. I have one here that I got from my brother who deserves it, and it will be hard to give it away. These things are so cool. I'll show this off in a minute. Well, I guess I'll do it right now. So I was carrying the first day of Blade Show. I went over to the haven't owned an off-grid, but definitely want to check one out. All of the off-grids I have are awesome. I'm especially fond of the Scorpion. Yes, especially the off-grid Scorpion. Yes, that thing is awesome. That is a great knife. That one, I think that one is made monster. Oh, there we go. It was a little frozen, little weirdness happening there, but you got the sheepdog. Awesome. All right, so check this out. This is the AD20 back alley. Bob living a thug life. That's me. Yeah. I had a dream like that the other night, though. Just kidding. Yeah, if you know me, I am not a thug. I just like the aesthetics of knife fighting. And it's fun to practice, like in the safety of a martial arts school with friends who aren't trying to kill you. Well, let's put it that way. So AD25, as you know, is made in Taiwan, and this is Demko Knives. This is their first production knife made out of house. It's made in Taiwan. As we all know, Taiwan knife companies are some of the best overseas knife companies. I think that the Taiwan Spydercos are the best Spydercos out there. And I'm not sure what factory these are made in, but these AD 20.5s are awesome. Even the FRN in the handle feels denser. It feels almost like G10. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. And then it's got a really nice sort of patterning in the it looks like that sort of metal flooring you might see on the subway or something like that. It's got the shark lock, which is just a hit. Super strong and just so much fun to play with. Not many people that went to Blade Show didn't buy an AD 20.5. They had a constant crowd, and they had box after box after box of these. The only real problem for me was I wanted to get two, but I didn't budget properly. I didn't bring tons and tons and tons of money. And I would have loved to have gotten the shark foot. That's their sheep foot version. But knowing that I was going to just end up giving it to my brother, I got him the clip point. I think he'd like it better. And ultimately I like it better too. But I'm going to have to get one for myself. I really like this. Even though it's shorter than I usually like to carry, it's so nice. Now, let's look at this up close for a second. So this is the size difference. Well, so let's get this on screen here. Andrew Demko is an awesome guy, too. He really is. So there's the size difference between the full size. This is the machine ground blade, so it's not a full custom. Yeah, the Demko line was long. And at the beginning of both days, they had some custom, hand ground customs to sell, including the mini AD20. And people were sprinting, literally sprinting to get their hands on them. Shane Gables, I took $1,000 to Blade Show and didn't buy a single knife. Shane. That's funny because I didn't bring $1,000 and I promised myself I wouldn't buy a knife, and that didn't happen. So you and I were kind of in reverse universes. Shane, let me know, is that because you didn't see anything tempting? I mean, I guess maybe. Were you expecting to see something else and you didn't find it, or were you gun shy, or was it or was it what do you call it? Like option paralysis. So many things that you couldn't choose one. Let me know why. I'm curious. This is an interesting thought coming from a knife nut. So short, and then here, look at the thickness difference. Everything about it is just much more slender. But where can I actually find an AD20 for sale? I've never been able. Yeah. Okay. So Stooley, first of all, welcome Stooley. And second of all, it took me a year and a half to get this one. And I'm not saying I was actively looking for a year and a half, but I was keeping my ear to the ground. And Lavender Pants 86 sent me a text. He lives near River's Edge Cutlery in Ohio, and they got a shipment of 6 of these. And he texted me, showed me a photograph. He's like, "I'll buy it for you right now, and you can pay me back." So what I'm telling you is, you got to keep your eye on the Instagram page, because you kind of can follow their production that way. And it doesn't hurt to call them, find out when they have stuff coming out. And also keep your eye on the secondary market, though I've never seen one being sold on the secondary market. No, I bought a new blade, Grinding Jig. Okay, well, that's good. That's good. I mean, you got something, and an 8-inch wheel. Okay, all right. So Shane's making knives. This isn't. He didn't go to just blow cash on knives like this. He got himself some. That's good. That's good, because you know what that means, Shane? That means more knives in the future when you make them. By the way, I'd love to see what you're making. Come on the show. I bumped into one of our patrons, Brent, introduced himself to me, and that guy is making some fantastic knives. He just sort of started, and then he got himself the cheapest grinder he could, and got himself some Damascus steel and some micarta. And how it happened was he's going by Bald Man Knife and Tool. He walked up to me. We were talking, and I was. This is after he had introduced himself to me the day before. This is the second day we bump into one another. I'm like, "Oh, what are you carrying on your belt? That looks like a cool knife." Pulls it out. I inspect it. I'm like, "God, this is gorgeous. Where'd you get this?" He said, "I made it." I was like, "Damn, that's awesome." So Shane, I'd love to see what you're making, man. And if you're not ready to show it, when you're ready to show it, come on and let's see it. Okay. So yeah, AD20.5 from my brother. It was it's a birthday present, and supposed to be a surprise, but I texted him. I said, "I got you something. I can either tell you what it is now, because I can't wait till late August, or you can not watch the videos and not find out what it is. But I got to talk about this knife because it is amazing." He said, "Just tell the world, and then I'll find out that way." So Vic, happy birthday, sir. You can't have your knife until your birthday. Another great thing I want to show off right now, and then we'll talk a little knife life news, and then I'll show you some more cool stuff. But this thing, okay, so we're talking about Andrew Demko. This is a good segue right here. Talking about Andrew Demko at the end of the day of the first day of Blade Show. I'm sitting there. I'm trying to upload a video to YouTube, and I'm kind of sitting in a room that leads from the hotel to the Bald Man. Seems like a great guy. He was a great guy. Very nice guy. From the convention center to the hotel, there's like this space, and I was sitting there, and I see Andrew Demko and his people. I started with a $40 Harbor Freight belt grinder. You know, it's like you got to prove to yourself that you're going to be into it. Can I be your brother, Bob? Yeah, sure, man. And he was walking in, through, and he and a friend of his an employee of his were carrying 2 of these each. And I was like, "Oh my God, where'd you get those?" And he's like, "I have a Tomahawk thing." And he said, "You got to check out this guy, Elmer Roush." And the name, I was like, "How do I know that name?" And then I realized he's got a Tomahawk, a production Tomahawk with CRKT. But this guy knows axes and knows tomahawks, and I've been really interested in these northeastern style, sort of 18th century Iroquois spiked tomahawks. That interest started in getting involved with Wingard Wearables and watching his videos and talking to him in an interview. His interview will be coming up shortly. and really learning a lot about tomahawks for fighting, and how they should be light and how there are certain things. And so I went and I found Elmer Roush the next day and got this beautiful tomahawk. Here, I'm thinking, Jim, maybe we go to the main camera to show this one off. So this is a spiked tomahawk. It's mild steel and high carbon steel. The high carbon steel is forged into the spike and into the blade here. And it is on American hickory. Is it hickory? Please excuse me for a second. Yeah, hickory. And something I learned from Zach of Wingard Wearables is that for a tomahawk where you have a haft like this and then the head, instead of there are a lot of tomahawks right now for combat utility that are full tang slabs of steel. So not talking about that kind, but kind of where the head is hung on a wooden haft. You don't want a friction fit where it slides up this way and then sticks at the end and then you screw it on like a lot of the cold steels, because, and I have learned this with my cold steel Norseman hawk, that friction fit doesn't last, and you throw it a couple of times, and I mean, I've gotten mine to last pretty well, but it can slide down and it definitely rattles. So you hang it like an axe with a wedge, splitting the top and wedging it in there with the same kind of wood that the rest of the haft is. So when it expands and contracts, it does all that at the same rate. But also, you want the thing to be super light. If you're using it, if you want it for its sort of combative American Indian, Native American kind of use, it should be light to throw, light to carry and swing around and recover. If you're swinging it around, you got a bowie in one hand, you got a tomahawk in the other. You're battling. You don't want some big giant thing that takes a minute, that takes more effort to recover. And I was so impressed going up to Elmer Roush's table, because he had a couple of these. I think I picked the best one, and then he had some sort of slightly heftier, more Viking-ish kind of axes, and all of them were really light for what they are, very sturdy. Like I think, I haven't weighed this, I think this is under a pound for sure. I think it's probably like 13 or 14 ounces. And just beautifully done, and they just look incredible. So this actually lives right there where you see that ring next to the knife junkie there. This is where this is going to stay, unless there's a late night intruder while I'm doing Thursday Night Knives, and then I will grab it off the wall and go to town with this. I love this thing, and it really feels like a relic, and I'm very, very psyched to have this. I'm going to put this down right here so I don't get myself with it. Sorry if you already said what finish or kind of wood is the handle. I will tell you. So it's American hickory, and actually he goes into detail about how he finishes the handle. Let me put this under the knife cam there. He says the handle is of hickory with a finish of linseed oil and beeswax. The finish is applied as a paste, then heated to cause it to penetrate and to darken the color of the wood. So beeswax and linseed oil rubbed into hickory and then heated. So very strong, and very light, and ultimately replaceable. You go into combat with this thing, and it is, you're swinging it, and the guy holds his musket up, and it snaps over the musket or whatever. Well, you recover the head, and you hang it on a new haft. I think that's cool. And speaking of cool, I went to RMJ's booth. RMJ had an amazing, it's Ryan Johnson. RMJ is a tomahawk maker that really took off, a modern tactical tomahawk maker that really took off a couple years into Desert Storm or Afghanistan, not Desert Storm, Operation Iraqi Freedom, or was it Afghanistan? I can't remember, but he made one for one guy, and another guy, he had to make 6 for a small unit. they all loved them and used them, not just for breaching doors either. And so he started making them, and demand was high. And man, this guy, Ryan Johnson, is really interesting. And we had a great conversation, and I reached out to him, and he's going to be coming on at some point. But I got a chance to heft. Hey, Bob, how was Emerson? Oh, I'll tell you in a sec. Oh, you saw that photo. I'll tell you about that in a second. That was really cool too. But RMJ Tomahawks are full tang steel, but they're so light. They're really cool. That's like the next thing. And RMJ owns American Tomahawk. They bought that brand, and if you don't know what that is, that's the that classic Vietnam Tomahawk. That company that made that was called American Tomahawk. They were resurrected, excuse me, in the 90s at some point, and then they started going under. RMJ bought them up, and also Chattanooga Leatherworks, who I'm always talking about making the best sheaths. They are also under the RMJ umbrella. So what an amazing company and an amazing guy. I mean, he was like a dictionary with personality, or like an encyclopedia. I don't know if any of you remember what those are, but with personality. You know, we had a great conversation talking about tomahawks, talking about his past and such, and very exciting stuff. It's tomahawks. Oh, so awesome. I love this. New obsession. I'm going to put this down. How was Emerson? It was great to finally meet Ernest Emerson in person and shake his hand. He gave a talk called this Quest of the the Quest of the Uncommon Man. And basically, if you didn't see the Sunday show, where I went into it just a little bit, he talks a lot about personal responsibility, self-discipline, and some of these characteristics that that have maybe taken a back seat in our for men and boys in our current society, and how, you know, we need to get back to that discipline and striving for freedom, striving for independence, and personal responsibility. And it was cool. You know, he's a very warm guy, and he's he's got people coming at him from every angle. And I swear, man, he made, from what I could witness, it's like everyone he spoke to, he was focused on that person. And I spoke to him for a short while, you know, and of course I already had a little bit of a rapport because I've had him on the show a few times. And he made me feel like he'd been thinking of me the whole time, you know, and obviously he wasn't, but that's a really nice quality in someone where they can, you know, when they're talking to you, they're paying attention to you, even if it's for 3 or 5 or 10 minutes. You know, he's not like looking over your shoulder. Who else can I tell? You know, none of that. Very, very great guy, very genuine. And I'm sure he's just, I don't know, very interesting guy. But I want to have him back on the show to talk about foraging. He's been doing foraging now, he and his family. And I'd love to talk to him about that. Also, he's got a collection of Viking tomahawks, Viking axes that I'd love for him to bust out on camera. Love to see those. So hopefully I'll have him back on the show. He said he wants to come on, but hasn't returned my emails. I'm sure he's beset with them. So hopefully he comes back on. Matt Harvey, Half-Breed Blades has some cool tactical tomahawks. They do indeed. And actually, so I went to the Winkler knife, another guy I'm trying, really want to get on this show. Winkler Knives has some really cool axes. Ryan, I'm not sure if he's still on, but Spirited Blades has the Winkler Tomahawk and knife set. And he also did a tomahawk with the Sayak Kali guys. That is just so ridiculously cool. I mean, just so cool. And I would love to have. I want to own. I'd love to have and own those. I also love to have him on the show and talk to him about all sorts of stuff. But yeah, cool tomahawks all around. Yeah, those half-breed tomahawks are really cool. They've been, I think they just kind of dropped recently. I've been seeing them on Instagram quite a bit. Quack, did you meet Les George? Yeah, a friend of mine picked up his prototype #1 ballast song for me. How cool. Yeah, we talked for a little while. he's a great, this is another great thing about having this podcast, you know, is like, I've already had 2 1-hour conversations with him, and it's not often you have an hour-long conversation with anyone. So I could just kind of go up to these people, reintroduce myself, because sometimes I have a beard, sometimes I don't. And they're also know a bunch of people, and they're all coming up to him. So go up and reintroduce myself to Les George. And we chewed the fat for 10 minutes. And I walked away from one of those mini daggers thinking I'll come back, and they were gone. I feel like an idiot. But yes, very cool guy, very great sense of humor. And he had 2 of his, you know how he makes these, the 1918 trench knives, those knuckle duster knives with the daggers. And he had a project where he sent the handles, you know, the knuckle duster handles, to a number of knife makers, and they made blades for him, and he got 2 of them back at Blade Show. One of them was from Alan Elishewitz with this beautiful recurved dagger blade. And then the other was from Matt Martin of Vehement Blades, who's an incredible knife maker. I got to see some of his stuff in person, and fit it with a more traditional dagger. And so he pulled those out, and I got to hold those and check those out. Just amazing. Shane said he met Doug Ritter. Doug Ritter is also a very cool guy, such an enthusiastic, intense guy, and another one of those people who goes out of his way to talk to you and take a minute, you know, and take a minute just for you to talk to you. So that's cool. I'm glad you got to meet him. Wait. Hang on. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the man formerly known as...
Oh my gosh, I cannot hear you.
You can't hear me? I can hear you. Plain as day.
Oh crap, I can't hear nobody.
All right.
I can't hear you. Hold on.
Oh, okay. Can you put up Shredder's, I think Shredder or Grateful Panic? I can't. Can you put up the last comment, Jim? Shredder. Can't wait for Blade Show West Coast. Glad you had a good time. Thank you. Yeah. Blade Show West should be super cool. It was so much fun, man. It was so much fun. And Quack mentioned the Bally song, Les George's Bally song. Well, I got to experience the Bally song flippers who man, sure beats a hacky sack. Let me put it that way. That's what we used to kind of space out and do in public when we were kids. You know, just play hacky sack. So you see a bunch of guys, young guys, you know, doing incredible stuff, flipping their knives and kind of like staring. They're kind of like navel gazers, and that is in no way a diss. I was a navel gazer. I just played hacky sack and listened to, you know, Jesus and Mary Chain and other kind of, navel gazing music. These guys are doing it with knives. I love that, but doing some incredible stuff and not losing fingers. You know, really, really crazy acrobatic stuff. Really sorry to hear the New York Custom Knife Show is going to be shifted to Nashville. Oh, shit. I was going to go to this. Okay. That's the first knife show I ever went to. It used to be in Manhattan, and then they moved it to like Elizabeth City or somewhere in New Jersey. And now it's going to Nashville. Well, you know what, man? Nashville is supposed to be a great city. So maybe that's a great opportunity to go there. I was going to try and make it this year. I haven't been since 2014. It's supposedly only for this year. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I love the New York I lived in, but I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to visit right now. I think it would be very different from what I know. Everyday City Carey can chime in. I don't think he's watching, but should be back in Jersey next year though. Not a permanent shift at least. That's cool. Where was it? Was it in Hoboken or I think it's Elizabeth City. OCD. I met OCD. How you doing, man? Actually, my wife was just, oh my gosh, boy, that's a Freudian slip. I was about to say my sister. Then I said my wife. What I really meant is my daughter really loves the patch. You gave me a patch. I don't know if you remember, but it was in an envelope, and I think you were giving them out to people. But it's like a patch that it's an OCD for EDC patch, and my daughter thinks it's the coolest thing. I do too. I think it's cool too. Grinding Knives says it's getting back to normal. I'm out on Long Island. Oh, okay, cool. Where on Long Island, if you don't mind? I shot a movie out there once. Israel Bacchus from Arcane Designs is putting out some cool knives. He most certainly is. And he's a very, very cool guy. Real Bacchus. What a great name. Nashville is closer to me, so I guess that's good for me if I were to go. Well, yeah. Wait, so it's November, right? I think Jim said it was November. Jim and I were talking about this last night. And yeah, man, I've never been to Nashville. Maybe that's a great excuse. I know it's a great excuse. I'm doing well. I do remember. Glad to hear she likes it. Yeah, when I came back from Blade Show, she's like, okay, show me the swag. I'm like, geez, man. Suffolk County. Okay, cool. Show me the swag. So yeah, just tons and tons of stickers. I had the OCD patch and sticker. And I got a couple of t-shirts. I got some Bastinelli t-shirts for the girls, and I give them to them, and on the front it says human bullshit voids the warranty. And my wife's like, they can't wear this. I was like, oh man, I didn't even notice that. I'll take some fabric paint and paint it out. Did you see the Hinderer Emmett? I did not. The Emmett is the switchblade, right? I don't think they had it there because I was talking to one of the guys. Oh no, the Emmett is the fixed blade, I think. I did see that. I didn't spend much time at the Hinderer booth because they were swamped constantly. And I would walk by because I wanted to introduce myself to Rick Hinderer, who I have called their place like, I don't know, 5 or 6 times, left messages, talked to a person once. I've sent countless emails. I just want to get the guy on the show and talk to him, but I've never gotten a response from them. So I figured, Blade Show, I'm right here. I'm under the same roof. I'll just go up and introduce myself. And I never once saw him in a situation where I could weasel my way in. It was always like I would have to get 5 or 6 people shoved out of the way. So I don't know. Yes, New York City Custom Knife Show. Sorry. Yes, New York Custom Knife Show is in early November. They had a booking issue and decided instead of canceling the show, why not move it to Nashville for this year? But definitely a great reason to experience Nashville again. Yes, indeed. On all accounts, I'm glad they're not moving it from there though, because it's, the only knife show there. I came home with 13 t-shirts. Damn. Nice. You know what? I didn't get like every dime I spent was on something with steel and an edge pretty much, except for the Ulti clip. There he is. How's it going, sir?
Sorry about that.
That's all right, man. We have Brant here. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing mighty well.
So I met Jake Hoback.
Oh,
your side piece. I don't know what else.
Oh no, dude.
Very, very cool guy, and his partner is a really nice guy. And looks like he's going to come on the show, and we're going to talk Hoback knives. And I got a chance to check them all out, except they were out of the Husky, so I didn't get a chance to check out the Husky.
Well, I mean, not only now we're talking about Hoback, I actually emailed Hoback, and they're making me a custom.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
My first folder custom.
Awesome, man. Well, what's your favorite Tool album? I see you're wearing a Tool t-shirt.
This is from their new album, from Tool from 2020. Yeah, 20.
Yeah, I love them. Art rock. I love art rock. So you have you were, when you first came on and you couldn't hear, you were holding something. Show me what you had.
Oh, I was holding the Husky.
Holding the Husky. So I guess you hate your Hinderers now and you're looking to unload them, huh?
No, they're in my safe. They're all in my safe.
In the safe where they don't get any attention anymore. I know how that works.
I get them out once in a while. I show them to people. They're all like, man, that's kind of cool. And then they say how much it is. I say, it's worth more than you think it is.
Yeah, no doubt. Some really cool looking stuff there. But like I said, I didn't dig too much in to Hinderers, because also I knew I wasn't going to buy one while I was there. I was looking. Can I show you something cool?
Yeah.
Let me show you something cool. So this, I walked into the second room after I found out there was a second room. Saw this across the crowded space. Look at this. This is a Dirk Pinkerton custom.
Ooh. cool. I saw your video on that. That is sick.
Yeah, it is super sweet. I'm really into these Pakal style knives these days, and this is just
That is cool.
Pakalzilla. And I will have this knife and then all the others at his booth, there were a lot that I could definitely see owning. I'm going to look further into him because he grinds. His grinding is incredible, and he does a lot of sort of ethnically inspired tactical fixed blades and some folders, but really it's the fixed blades that turn me on. And oh God, I love this thing, and plus I love the handle. I really like that handle. I don't always go in for a colorful handle, but I think it's really happy looking and kind of cheerful. And then you look at the blade and it's like, it's all menace. Very, very sharp.
I just had one comment from somebody on here saying they want to see the Emmett.
Oh, let's see it.
Hold on, let me go. I got to open the safe. Hold on. Let me go
open the safe. Check this out, people. Look at this. Wear it on my hip at 3 o'clock. Pull it out. Cut my bagel. Love this thing. And like I said, check out Dirk Pinkerton, man. He's got a lot of designs, like the main street. That's a Pinkerton. He's got tons of designs with like Kaiser and Concept and these. Maynard James Keenan is an awesome singer. They are all awesome at everything they do. In reference to Bob's comment about the Tool band, about band Tool. Yeah, they're incredible and interesting and smart. Dirk Pinkerton's fixed blades, man, they don't get as much. Tool scares me. Yeah, I hear that too. That's like Miles Davis Bitches Brew. Great album that scares the crap out of me. All
right, I'm back.
This is Quack. This is Nitro V.
Ooh, I love
Nitro V. Sorry, I had to say it like that. It's cool.
AVL steel, pretty much. It's equivalent to it.
To ABL?
Yes.
Yeah, ABL's a nice steel.
There you go, Zach, if you wanted to see the...
Oh, there it is. The Emmett. That's a nice looking knife, man. What is that, about a 5-inch blade about?
It's the same size as the FX, his XM fixed blade version of the XM18.
Oh, the 18. Oh, so that's like a 3.5.
Yeah, it's a 3.5, pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah, they had one of those. They had one of those in their cabinet. That's
because they're making, not only they're making the buoy, but they're making a sheep's foot and a warney.
Oh, nice. Oh, a warney, you say? Huh. That sounds really good.
That's what I heard. So
I love the Hindero warnies. Sorry, I was stepping on your lines there. What did you say?
No, I'm saying I'm excited for it. I hope they come out with more.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I think his Warncliffe is one of the nicest looking in the business. I love that.
It is. It really, truly is.
Yeah, actually, Jim has a graphic up. I just want to promote this coming weekend's interview. It's with Ben Stark of Stark Creations. I don't know if you know this guy, but I've been following him on Instagram for a while. This is how I find a lot of makers. Instagram's great, but this guy, he's a young dude, and he's making some beautiful fixed blade knives, like really nicely designed, beautifully designed, great looking handles, and I would definitely love to have one of his knives. So I got him on the show, and it was really interesting talking to him. He's a young cat. I had no idea. It's just funny. You don't know who's making these things unless they show their face, and actually he does show his face in some of his videos, but a young man such as, a young man like yourself, and I know you're making knives too now.
Mm-hmm.
So OCD says, the first time I saw Tool live, Maynard stood with his back to the crowd the entire show. It's funny. I saw them once for supporting Lateralis, and I had seen all of these I'd seen all this concert footage up until then with crazy wigs and crazy outfits. And in this show, this was in Connecticut, he was wearing a pair of jeans and like a white Oxford shirt. He looked like he just came from the office on casual Friday and he's wailing, he didn't move from his spot. No one moved from their spots. And they just, oh man, I mean, to me, their music is just amazing. But it was so cool to see him dressed like a suburban dad and wailing like this stuff, because ordinarily he's got a mohawk and a kilt or some weirdness. Jim, can you go back to Blade Ogre's comment? Thank you. Dirk Pinkerton is a great designer. Got him first on the Tangram progression. Yep. And then on the monstrous proponent. Yeah, that's a ridiculous knife. The Kaiser Rogue is my favorite, though. I really like the Kaiser Inversion, I think it is, which is, I got a chance to check out there too, which is also a Pakal, edge in style knife. Not double edged. It's a flipper. So yeah, cool stuff from Dirk Pinkerton for sure. Check out the podcast. We did a podcast with him. I love Mike Emler fixed blades. Are you talking about the
Crazy Sharp?
Yeah, Crazy Sharp. He's got some cool stuff.
Oh yeah, he's got some nice stuff.
I do like the Sea Snake. That's a great knife.
Oh yeah.
Shane, I love my Kaiser Rogue. Yeah,
Metal
the Rogue
Complex got one.
What'd you say?
I said Metal Complex has one.
Oh yeah. Which one?
Sea Snake.
Sea Snake. I saw Tool open for Rollins Band in '92 in Lawrence, Kansas. How cool is that? So that was when that was on that was a long time ago. I'm trying to think of that was that first album with Sober, maybe. They're great. They're great, and they just keep going, which is cool. And he makes wine, does all sorts of other Pussifer and all sorts of other stuff in his spare time. Can I show you something else I got?
Yeah, I want to see all of you what you got, because I love it all.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, you got the Zero. You got that.
I got a Vero. Oh my God! This thing is. You know what I was saying about the Koenig? I was like so happy to go experience a Koenig knife and realize that it's well worth the hype. Well, the Vero knives, same thing, man. Same thing.
Oh.
I loved it in theory. And then I got them in hand, because they had them all out, including the Integral, and which is not quite available, and another knife that's not quite available yet, and then some of the other ones. And I came by the booth when they had like 2 of these left, and I'm slowly this is a natural micarta, and it was like unoiled, and I'm slowly getting it there with my hand oil. I've been just fussing with this thing ever since I got it. It is incredible. Now, I was talking about I don't like fall shut knives necessarily earlier when I was talking about the Cristal. This one is fall shut, and I love it. And look at this, man.
That's beautiful.
Look at that flipper. It flips so great, and the flipper doesn't even protrude above the dorsal surface, man.
It almost looks like a front flipper for a minute.
Do you remember back in the day when the Quaken first came out, the Boker Quaken by Lucas Burnley, and people were doing that mod where they would grind away the front. So it acts just like that, and it works great. It works great. And then of course it's M390 and canvas micarta, bolster lock. Just a great knife, very sharp, comes to a very thin edge. I mean, he was a knife fan, So Joseph Vero is a very, very talented guy and a very nice guy. Like, it was really cool to meet him, and his wife was working the booth with him, and just really good people. And that's another thing that's so great to see is I love these family business stories. Yeah. Brothers working together, husbands and wives working together.
Kind of like the Grismos.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like brothers, and they just celebrated their 10 years. And
wow.
I'm just like, holy crap.
Yeah. Yeah, and it all started with those videos with them kind of learning how to make knives. And now
And now look, they can make the most expensive knife is the Norseman.
Oh man, I love that knife. Oh, I've never actually had one in hand, but reminds me of the 520. Sort of. Yeah. I could see that in sort of its overall design. That's a beauty. Thank you, sir. I had no plans to buy this. As a matter of fact, when I bought this, I thought I was done buying anything. And then I was like, oh, I should go say hi to Joseph and, introduce myself in person since we talked. And, I wanted to meet everyone in person that I've spoken to that was there. And I know I didn't, but I got a lot. And when I went up to there, I started handling this. I was just like, oh no. I'm gonna have to get this. Quack says, in my experience with the flipper tab being above the pivot, it generates more, insert fancy physics explanation, and results in very snappy action. I agree with you. I agree with your physics. Oh man. Yeah, this is a great knife. And I gotta say, it makes me want another one and a larger one. This is and if you don't know, it's got a little pocket here for Spidey flicking.
Ooh.
Which is cool, built in there just for that purpose. This is 3 1/4 inches, 3 1/4 inches, right?
Nice.
2. Wait. God, I'm so terrible with this. 1, 2. Yeah, it's like 3 1/4 about.
Like 3/6.
Yeah, but I like closer to 4, and there are larger ones, and now I'm like, now I have to get a larger barrel. Now I do a number of people have mentioned how the ramp on the clip on the shorter knife puts your hand, it creates a hot spot, and I concur with that if you're holding it like this. But due to the size of the handle, I tend to hold it like this, and to me it's not bad. But on the newer models, he has flattened that out, that ramp. So it comes up and then it kind of flattens out so that you don't have this upward pokiness in your hand. To me, it's a very minor issue because this is not a knife I'm going to be horsing through material with all day long. Though it could do that. It's just not what it's going to be for me. So, but I could see if you were going to work with this all day long, that pocket clip might get a little annoying on this size knife, but he's already remedied that going forward. So I think that's cool. Zachary says, if you've never had a Bark River convex ground knife, you're missing out. Mike Stewart is an awesome person. Well, sir, I happen to have a number of them. And actually, I'm looking to move one. I'm looking to sell my Shining Mountain Bowie, which I know, crazy. It's a beautiful giant Bowie, and I love it. But it is so clearly a knife that I don't use and never will use, hopefully. Because if I use that knife, it means the shit has really hit the fan. But I have other knives for that too, so I might have to sell that one just to make up some dough. But I would agree with you, Zachary. Those are incredible. That the convex grind on those knives. I have a Boone 2 right now, which is now my outdoors like devining knife for the season, and I love it. OCD says it's all about geometry. I spent way too much money as well. Impulse buys are a bitch. It is true. But they're exciting and fun, They're exciting and fun. And man's got to do something. Keep his life clean, but still have a little bit of excitement, And impulse knife buys kind of can do it. Yes, definitely go check out some of the Knife Junkie merchandise. Jim has designed some really cool shirts, and I shouldn't say shirts. I should say art. Concepts, really, visual concepts, and you can have it on a shirt, you can have it on a coffee mug, you could have it on a mouse pad. Yes, those are still things. You could have it on a clock or on a wall hanging, like I have here, or you could have the traditional Knife Junkie logo, like right there, and which my sister did. I designed it. I kind of sketched it out, but my sister did the design for that. My favorite right now is the Don't Take Dull for an Answer t-shirts that Jim has come up with. They're not just t-shirts, like I said, but that visual concept. There it is as a sticker. I just think it's awesome. And there you go. Look at that, a throw pillow. Get one for your wife. Wives love throw pillows. Look, honey, I got you a throw pillow. And she'll say, okay, you're out. You can sleep on the couch with that throw pillow, she'll say. Knife math. 2 equals 1, and 1 equals none. Who doesn't love that? Yes. Nicely done, Jim. So check out our merch on knifejunkie.com/shop and do some shopping. If you haven't done enough already, if you didn't go to Blade, go check it out. I got one last knife to show off, and I didn't get this at Blade Show, but this just came in, and this is a charming knife by a charming company, and that is another Finch. I'm really liking these Finch knives. This is the Finch Holiday, and it's just a cool little knife. It's sort of based on the doctor's knife, the traditional pattern, the doctor's knife, with a very neutral handle and a squared off back. You can kind of rest it just like that, like a traditional doctor's knife. And it's got this beautiful satin Wharncliffe, great flipping action, and a bolster lock with titanium, with what do you call it? Micarta. It's just a charming little knife. I really like the Finch knives, man. More and more. I got the Runtley, and then I got this, and also the Cimarron. They're great little knives. And I say little because I think the Cimarron is the largest one they make right now. Spencer Markart of Finch Knife Company will be on the Knife Junkie podcast, episode 228, which will air on Sunday, June 27th. So check that one out for sure. Finch knives doing cool stuff. This, by the way, is actual sapphire crystal, like on a watch, because one of the two gents who runs this company also has Raven Watch Company and specializes in making watches. Spencer from Finch is awesome. He is awesome. What a nice guy, and what a great story they have. And each one of their knives has a story. This is sort of based on Doc Holliday. May need to snag some merch. I like to hear that. Thank you, Nav Sergeant. That'd be great. And wear it around town. People say, "Where did you get that incredibly fetching shirt?" But I've already got so many, throw pillows. Yes, I knew they were doing well, but I didn't know they were doing that well. Jim Gaffigan, the comedian, has a whole thing about throw pillows, a whole bit. It's hilarious. He's like, "What's the deal with throw pillows? Pillows in general, lots of pillows. Why? I get it when I'm at a hotel because you can prop yourself up and read in bed, and that's always lovely. But
it's always something.
Yeah. So, Brent, anything new? Show me your newest knife before we head on to the knife fight, because you and I are knife fighting tonight.
Oh boy.
I'm not doing it against myself. I'm not doing it.
Well, right now,
yeah.
I'm gonna get you, Mike. I'm gonna get you.
They're hot to trot. That's funny, man.
Oh man.
They're made to be thrown. Pillow fight. Are they made to be thrown? Yes, indeed they are. Just throw it down casually and then reposition it 100 times. So what's your newest thing? What's your newest knife?
Well, the J. Kovac custom.
The Husky.
Pretty much I'm saving up for.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, I've had this.
Well, then let's take a look at the Husky again, which I might ask to borrow at some point. Borrow. Give me a break. All right, turn it on its side. I want to see how this thing is just ridiculous. Ridiculously awesome that is, but that's a 1/4 inch thick folding blade.
I'll do something for you. I'll get a regular XM18 against.
Dang, Dan. I bought you a throw pillow for Christmas. Wow. Hold it back up. Let me see.
This thing is bigger than the.
Damn. Ben says, "Well, I made it." He just finishing up his drive. He just got to Pittsburgh. That was a drive through the forest in the fog in the dark. Well, man, I hope listening to the calming strains of Thursday Night Knives helped keep you awake. That can be brutal. That can be brutal, man. Being my drive home. How does it carry, Brant? My drive home from it, as you think about this and consider it,
Okay.
my drive home from Atlanta was brutal. Plus, there was some son of a bitch on the road that was really actively trying to run people off the road, like literally actively trying to run people off the road. It was a little bit frightening. Caught me while I was eating an apple too. I'm all, and he's like, "What the hell, man? I'm right here." And he's like, okay. Anyway, so how does that thing carry?
Well, I mean, from 9 ounces you're carrying, I mean, it's going to weigh your pocket down. So I wear a
9
belt.
9 ounces? That's
9.4 ounces.
I am not being facetious here. That's shockingly light for what it is.
Yes, even the full tie is 11 ounces. So
Okay.
that's pretty light for me, and I like 9 ounces.
Not 9 ounces. Like, what's an XM24? You're getting close to 9 ounces with an XM24. Oh, you're in Titty-Ute, of course. You're in Titty-Ute.
Where am I?
Because he's there for the Show the Puppets brand. Because you're there for the GEC meetup. All right. That's cool. Zachary Schmidt, throw pillows go great with Sharpens.
There's the XM24. And let's get the old.
So Ben, while Brant is getting the weight on this husky here, please be sure to post some videos on Instagram. It'd be cool to see what's going on there on your road trip to Titty-Ute. That would be cool. So
I'll do the XM24.
XM24 is 7.8 ounces. I just have this feeling. I think it's 7.8.
7.8.
7.8?
No, 7.7. Pretty
was
much.
I right? Was I? Get rid of that. Was I right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
All right. Okay. All right.
And then the husky is 9.5.
Okay.
Pretty much.
All right. Yeah, I knew it was about 7.7, 7.8. I'm sorry. I did have an assist from Quack.
I love this little pocket scale.
Is that for your drugs? That looks like a drug scale. Mr. Plato says, I like my knives like I like my candy, thicker than a Snickers.
I mean, yeah.
Nice. Well, I am digging that husky. I love the profile of it. It looks like the original. It's evocative of the original knife that he came out with. I can't remember the name of it. What was the
Ace A15 probably, because he came out with the A15, A10, and then the A6 and the A8.
That's right. This one is evocative of all of those, but just way more masculine. I just love.
I mean, I pry with my knives, and this is perfect for it.
What do you find yourself prying?
It depends. You know, if I want to show somebody, hey, I can pry with this knife, and they'll be like, no, you can't. I'm like, I get a paint can. I'm like, give me a paint can, and I just pry it open. They're like, oh my gosh.
That's something, man. That might have to be my the hoback, because I gotta get a hoback, especially if I end up interviewing him. I will then feel obligated. Well, I have to. He helped me by coming on the show, so I'm going to help him by buying one of his knives. Husky is also a Nitro V, a great steel.
Yeah, it's great steel. I mean, mine's been well used.
Nice. I would imagine, even though
I have not sharpened it.
It's super sharp, though, right? I mean, that blade in particular. And I love that. You take a giant, fat blade. Hey, Ben, how's it going, man?
What's up, man?
How's it been?
Delirious would be the word of the day.
Delirious. How long did you drive?
Well, I woke up at 5 a.m. in Phoenix, was at the airport by 7, flew to Dallas, had a layover. It was delayed an hour. Sat on the plane forever, got to Pittsburgh, waited in another line for a rental car, and then just drove 2.5 hours to Titty-Ute.
Oh, man. So what are your plans for this show?
So here's my conundrum, right? So the show starts tomorrow. Now, GEC does a rendezvous knife. They don't say how many they make, but it's not a lot. And it's going to be like, it's a mystery what it is, but it's always something unique. And there's already dudes in line for that thing they're going to sleep out there just like people slept in line for the blade show.
Oh my God.
And so it's
I didn't know people slept in line for blade show. That's crazy.
Dude, there was like a group of like 15 guys out there for 2 days before the show. They make a thing of it, but still kind of nuts, right?
That's crazy. That is taking it to a new level. Or shouldn't call it crazy. Like, that's just devoted.
It's right. They're knife junkies, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So it's like, what do you do, man? It's like almost midnight. I'll be, I've been up forever. I've been traveling, stuck in planes, stuck in this car. But it's like, do I come all this way just to miss the rendezvous knife? Like, I don't think so.
So what I'm hearing is you're getting your sleeping bag ready.
I don't even bring a sleeping bag. What I think I'm gonna do is, because I got like this Airbnb right here that I'm parked at. It's like right on the Allegheny River.
Oh,
I'm sure I had the most beautiful drive that I couldn't even see because it was pitch black and foggy.
Yeah.
But I think I'll go in there, wash up, take like a 3-hour nap, and then get up and go get my ass in line before 6 a.m. and make sure I get that knife and just power through.
That sounds like a good compromise.
Yeah.
You got to get your shower. You got to get some rest, man, because you want to be able to enjoy yourself. And 3 hours is a nice nap. Sometimes that's all you need is a nap to keep going.
It's a little, just plug in the phone and charge it. To use an analogy, and just get a little juice in there. Grab a quick bite in the morning, even if it's from a freaking gas station or something, but just something. You know. And then do the Great Eastern Cutlery thing. I don't really know much of what to expect, but it's going to be really cool. See the factory, hopefully meet Bill Howard, but ultimately to meet all these slip joint collectors who I've known for, like 6 or 7 years now that I've never met.
Oh, man, that's cool. That is great.
Yep.
Did you bring the prototypes with you?
I did. I brought one set of them, like 7 of them.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, we're going. I got like bugs in the car. We're going to celebrate. I was driving with the windows down, which is a nice treat. But we're celebrating Great Eastern Cutlery, so it's not my party. It's Bill Howard's party. So I have them, and if it's appropriate or when it's appropriate, I'll show people. But trying to be mindful of respecting Bill's party.
I think that's I think that's absolutely the way to go, but I'm glad you brought them because that some of these people that you've known for 7 years are going to be like, dude, did you bring the prototypes? And there will be moments where you can pull it out without stepping on anyone's feet.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm here till Sunday, so there's going to be a good opportunity to do that. And, just like you've been talking about Blade Show, man, it's about the people, right? The knives are great. But to meet these folks and like build these relationships is like, that's the real deal.
Shane just said, I don't know if you can see on your little phone the comments, but Shane just said there was a buzz at Blade Show about Jack Wolf. So that's cool to hear, man.
I'm still like having to pinch myself, because it was just so awesome. And it's just hard to take in. I'm just so appreciative of everybody's response and enthusiasm and everything, and it was just amazing.
Well, I got to say, like, it's really, the timing was great that you had all those prototypes for people to actually touch them and to feel them and see them and build anticipation. Like, I was always excited about them, but having had a chance to pick each one up, open them and close them and really like feel them in hand. Now it's just like, still a huge buzz about Jack Wolf, says Monster. All the live streams are talking about them. That's awesome. Yeah, and just like an opportunity to hold them and stuff. Now it's a moral imperative, to get one. Quack says it's going to suck waiting for them to be available. Can't wait to try and get one of your slip joints, Ben. That's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's like, it's hard for me because you're almost like tempted to do something, which would be just like, oh, let's just make them, but it's like, no, I've got to.
You've waited this long. I mean,
no, we're doing it right. There's a couple little prototype tweaks. You mentioned it earlier. It's little stuff, guys. It's like some of the tips are too close to the surface. So if you jam your finger in the blade well, you can feel the tip. They're not proud, meaning like they're not above the surface, but like they're too close. And all I need is one person to cut themselves, and then I'm not going to, that'll like cut my soul. So that needs to be fixed. On the teardrop jack, or the low drag jack, as I call it, like on 2 of the 3 prototypes, for whatever reason, the blade, when it closed, was wrapping on the spring inside, and it caused a tiny little rolled edge. And, we were speculating what caused that, because there's a lot of room in there between the edge and that spring, but it's either someone forced it closed with their thumb, and pushed it into the spring, but ultimately, like, it happened on 2 out of 3 of them. So that's not coincidence at that point,
Right.
So I have to create a little more space between the blade well and the spring and the blade. I want to change the geometry of the tang corners so that they jump close a little faster, which no one complained about, but it's something I see. So
there was a difference.
Stuff.
There was a difference in a few of the prototypes in terms of how they closed. I found that what was it? I think it was the gun stock really just snaps shut. Like, in other words, some of them had a more gentle close, and then others, but none of them were, if you just had one in hand and you were opening and closing it, it would be a pleasant experience. None of them were bad to me. Some of them were different. Some of them had more of a pull and more of a snap, but they were all, geez, you can't. It's hard to go wrong with Riat also.
Yeah, they do a great job, and I realized that each of those models is going to kind of have its own personality. I don't think they're saying to them like they all have to feel exactly the same, because that might be like chasing your tail, first of all, trying to accomplish something like that. And do they all really have to be exactly the same? I don't think so. Like, as long as they're in that sort of spectrum of reasonable, like, and enjoyable, that's kind of cool that they're all a little bit different from each other. I think because we like to fidget with them, and it would suck if every single one fidgeted the same.
Yeah, and it'd be like, not every Great Eastern cutlery is the same. You get a knife, and if you buy it from, for instance, through Collector Knives, he rates them, and there's something to that. There's something to having them be different, and each knife having its own little personality in that sense. Ben is doing everything the right way. They're going to sell out fast, and
dude, thank you.
You're getting a lot of these kind of comments. That's awesome.
All I could think about as I'm driving, and I got to tell you guys, like, in Arizona, it's flat. We've got a grid. You get used to driving, like, the roads are 6-8 lanes wide, really modern, right? Well, I just drove through like the backwoods of Pennsylvania. There were times where I didn't cross another car for like 45 minutes, and these roads are just winding, swerving, and everything. It's really kind of fun, but a little treacherous.
Yeah.
But the whole time I'm just thinking in my head, like, how many do I order? Do I order a big order at once and have them pace it out over months, or do I just like order and see what happens? And I have to have dealer agreements, and what do those agreements have to look like? And what does this guy do? And what does that guy do? And it's like a bazillion questions in my head, rapid fire, as I'm trying not to crash into the Allegheny River.
Well, who knows, man? Maybe this weekend actually will reveal some of that to you. Not in just being away. I mean, whenever you're away, you gain a new perspective, and a lot of things get worked out subconsciously, but also you're in the house of Bill Howard. So maybe something will rub off in those terms too,
For sure. And I don't have to solve all these problems now, but I can't help but think about all this stuff, because ultimately it's like, I want to do a good job for you guys. I want to make sure that I can deliver knives to you guys. Now, like, can I get everybody one who wants one? Like, that would be great. If it can't be that way, I want to do the best I can. I don't want everybody waiting forever and not being able to get one and stuff like that. But also there's limitations to what I can do right out of the gate. So it's new territory for me, fellas, and I just appreciate your guys' support as I navigate it.
Oh, man. Well, we had Shane, I think, saying he's never been interested in slip joints, but he's definitely getting one of yours. So, I mean, I think you're going to have a lot of crossover appeal too. You've got the great designs and the great manufacturing. Northcote says, Ben, order lots.
Yeah, dude. It's like I'll figure it out. It's going to be enough to make a splash in the beginning. And you know what? It's a marathon, not a sprint, guys. So, I'll get it going. I'll get a program going. What I like is things that are, repeatable and reliable and consistent. That's like what I like. So once I kind of get something up and running, I get it figured out so that it runs pretty smooth and I'm out ahead in front. And so if something happens that's unexpected, it doesn't disrupt everything. And that doesn't happen overnight. So, I'm working on it.
Well, man, best of luck to you and have an awesome stay in Tidioute. How long are you going to be there? You'll be there through Sunday?
Yep. I drive back to Pittsburgh Sunday and take off around like 3 or 4, something like that.
Wow, man. All right. So, and you're going to be waking up in what, 6 hours to go wait in line for the knife, for the gathering knife.
Probably about 4.5 hours.
4.5 hours. A couple of years ago, it was a sunfish pattern, which, oh my God, I'd love to have one of those. A Great Eastern Cutlery, elephant's toenail, or whatever they call it. Those things are so sweet. Hero Stick says, Jack Wolf Knives, forgive me if I missed it, but are pre-orders an option? I imagine we've got 100 folks that would pay in full upfront us in a snap. Could create some capital to drive a production run.
It wasn't my original idea. Like, I'm not saying I wouldn't do that, but I'd have to be further along to understand the timing of something like that. Because here's my thing, guys. Like, I don't like taking someone's money until I have something to give you. Mm-hmm. It's for a couple reasons. Like, if something happens outside of my control and I had set an expectation with you and then I can't deliver on it, that sours your experience and it doesn't look good for me. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm super mindful of that because it only takes like one bad event to destroy a reputation that takes like your entire life to build. So I tread carefully on that kind of thing. Now, if I'm further down the road and like production is imminent and everything is making sense and, maybe we're within a reasonable period of time to take some money up front, maybe, but I'm just hesitant on that one, guys. Hopefully you understand.
I think for your first time out, I think that's a wise decision. But like you said, further, that doesn't mean that further down the line, once you've kind of got your feet under you more firmly with knives already sold and already in people's pockets, that you can't do that. You'll be a known quantity, even more so, and that seems like a more, I don't know, reasonable thing. Shane was asking price range. It's what, 275 you were thinking?
I'm saying around 275. Obviously, I don't have that 100% firm. I'm really trying to keep it under $300, and 275 seems like a really nice number. That's, because you're gonna have to pay. Most likely, you're gonna have to pay for shipping on top of that. Should keep the whole thing under $300.
Right.
So I think that number really went over well at the Blade Show. There's always someone it's too expensive for, and hey, no problem, you know, but like, as far as how that number was received, I was really pleasantly surprised. So it's like, maybe I don't rock that boat much more than that.
Yeah. And if it's too much, look for it on the secondary market, but no one's going to sell them. So.
Right. Yeah. I want people to collect them all,
Oh yeah. Oh God. It's just going to be another knife I can't live without, that I have to have each one. I got to say, like, they looked really nice sitting there in the different colors of my Carta. I was like, "Ooh, I like it in the green, but I like it in the natural. Oh, but the black looks nice." It's like, collect them all,
Yep.
It's like Pokemon.
That's exactly the curse of the collector. It's like all that variation creates this opportunity to build sets. It's like you get all from one model. Do you stick with one color micarta across the products? Do you try to do both? Like, what do? Do you collect spear point blades only? Do you collect like Barlows when I make them? So it's like, it's a good problem to have, I suppose.
It's like the old cereal box, collect them all.
Right.
I think it's about time for us to get this knife fight underway. Ben, if you need to bow out, I totally understand. If you want to sharpen your mind and ready yourself for the coming week by knife fighting Brant, I'm with that too.
Dude, my mind is dull right now. It's freaking dull. I can barely talk. So
I figured, man. I figured.
Man, I appreciate you letting me jump on here. Timing worked out great. I enjoyed this. Sometimes the show wouldn't come in, like the signal would just get lost entirely.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'd come up over the top of a hill and bam, there's Bob again. So it's like sweet.
But, going off at the mouth.
Yeah. So anyway, I made it here, and I should probably just get in this building, make sure I can even get in this room.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, man, good luck and travel safely. And I don't know if you heard this part or if the sound had dipped out, but post some videos from your time there on Instagram. It'd be really cool to see the factory, and if it's even an option. I don't know. They might not want you to do that, but
I'll definitely do my best. I'm like kind of bad at photo and video while I'm doing something. That's why I always wake up early to take pictures of stuff before I start my day. I need more practice at that, but you're not the only one who's asked. So I will do my best to try to get some pictures of this stuff.
Cool, man. All right, Ben, great for you to jump in. Thanks. It was great to see you. And of course, last weekend was just so awesome. So have a good one. Enjoy, get some rest, and we'll see you on the other side.
All right, Bob. Thank you. And hey, all you guys, thank you guys. You guys are the bomb. You guys are awesome. Your encouragement, it keeps me pumping. So I look forward to talking to y'all and seeing y'all ASAP.
All righty, man. Take care.
Later.
That dude's awesome.
Yeah, he is awesome. His dad is also really cool. I had such a great time hanging out with his dad for a little while. All right. So are you ready, Brant? Are we going to knife fight? All right.
Let's do it.
Brand new versus secondary market.
I would do the secondary market.
Okay. All right. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay. We're gonna get a minute tonight.
All right.
A minute. And I will start in 3, 2, 1. Why buy another person's problems? That's how I'm going to lead off here. Thank you, everyone, for having me in this esteemed venue for this very important debate. Why buy another person's problems? Why not just go brand new? Look, if you're planning on buying a knife to use, because why else would you buy a knife? If you're going to buy a knife to use, you want something that doesn't have a lot of mileage on it. You don't want something on, from which steel has been removed through the sharpening process. I say right off the bat, the best way to get a knife is to get it brand new so that you can ensure that if you're buying a folder, you're buying the stoutest action possible so that you have no play and so that you have a sharp blade. And if you're getting a fixed blade knife, you want to make sure that the knife hasn't been stressed through improper use in the past. So therefore, get a brand new knife. Save the secondary for something else. Okay, Brant, I went 5 seconds over there with that bologna sausage. So it's your turn. Are you ready?
Yep.
Why is the secondary market superior? Go.
To be honest, when you buy a newer one, it costs more, but when it's on secondary market, you may get a knife that's half the price than a brand new one. Yes, it's been used and all of that, but you can also take it apart, clean it, put your own lube, whatever you want to do with it. And it has more love to it than a newer one, even though you could put your blood and sweat and tears on it, even though that would work either way. Yeah, it's pretty good. Secondary market's pretty good prices depending on what you're doing, where you at, like the USN or anything like that. They're good, but you gotta watch out if you get ripped off. But yeah, that's all I got.
All right. You had a few minutes there to broaden your argument, but or a few seconds, I should say. But you came in close. So are you a secondary market person?
Sometimes I am. Sometimes, because not all the time. Not all the time. I have two Hinders that are pre-owned, but
oh, okay.
Actually 3.
Quack says, argument for brand new. No need to worry if the previous owner was picking their nose while handling the knife. I like how you think, Quack. That was the main reason my grandmother was always like, you must wash your fruit. You can't just pick up a piece of fruit without washing it and eating it. You don't know if the man who picked that fruit was picking his nose. And it's like, oh, grandma, that's gross. Okay, I guess you're right. I'll wash it. He's right about that. Whenever I get a knife off the secondary market, which I've gotten plenty, I like secondary knives, I gotta say. I always kind of hose them down with alcohol and, get all the germs and such off. I actually don't have, if I can find it on the secondary market, I will usually buy it there. The nose might be the least of your worries. Yeah, I think he might be right. One person's trash, so that's right. Is another person's treasure.
Yeah, very much. Another one's treasures. I mean, it can be.
And actually, buying knives on the secondary market is a pretty good deal, because we all know a lot of people buy more than they need, and a lot of people don't use what they have. I fall squarely into that category, and when I sell things, it's like pretty assured they're getting a nearly new knife anyway for a cut rate. It all depends on who's selling. If it's someone I know, then I definitely am a fan of the secondary market. Or Monster, I would agree with that, but also say if it's from a place I trust, like I've had great luck on blade forums. I just have. And then some people who've just offered things through the show, I've also gotten great stuff. So yeah, I like to keep my options open.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So Brent, closing words for the evening, sir. What can we expect from you? How's your knife work going?
It's going pretty well. I mean, here's the latest on it. I mean, I put a bevel on it, and
oh, very nice.
And put a little bit of a clip point to it, and it's almost ready for my dad.
Oh, very nice. So that's going to your dad.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very nice. Love it. I love a clip point. Alrighty, sir. So you will keep us. You will let us know when you get this custom Hoback. You didn't tell us what model custom Hoback you're getting.
A15.
A15. Okay, so that looks
like it looks like okay. The
like
Huskies
the Husky
are like apart right now, but yes,
right. It looks like the Husky, but it's a lot less thick, a lot less gigantic.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, keep us abreast of the 80, or it's not the 8015, the A15, and we will be we'll be happy to check it out. I think I'm tuckered for the night, but I'm not sure if you saw this before, Brent. Did you see this?
I saw that. That is beautiful.
Oh,
that is beautiful.
Love this thing. This will now be living actually behind my head, so I might have to reposition the camera just so it can be seen. I love this thing, and it will be the one knife on the wall there, the one implement on the wall that isn't an actual historical blade, but it kind of looks like it, and it's made in the historical.
It looks like Vikings, like style Vikings.
Oh well, this is actually northeast woodland American Indian Iroquois tomahawk. With a Bowie, maybe that Bowie you have right there. Your dad, didn't you say it was for Rick Hinderer? So
No. Okay. I'm making them for Rick, but this is for my dad. The other two are going to be a different kind of steel. This is 01.
Yeah, the other two are for Rick Hinderer and his wife, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. And then after that, after you get the important ones out of the way, you can make a Knife Junkie edition and send it here.
It's coming. You said you wanted a neck knife. I'm designing one for you.
Oh, cool, man. I would love that. Chris says, great show again. Good night, everybody. Good night, Blade Ogre. Appreciate it. Thank you for another great live stream, Bob and Jim, says Monster. Thank you, Monster, for joining in and making me laugh several times. Have a great night, everyone, he says. And, of course, thank you to Brant. North Code, one of our newest patrons. Thank you, sir. And have a great night yourself. So here I am, Bob DeMarco, saying thanks for tuning in and watching. It's always a pleasure. And man, I always look forward to Thursday night because this is so much fun. And so much of it has to do with people like you, Brent, and Ben, and others who hop on, Alex, and all you guys. Everybody have a knife night. I love it. And all you guys who participate. It's so much fun. I love it. Love, peace, and hair grease. You too, Grateful. Great to have you here, man. And Quack, thank you for the show. See y'all next week. We will see you next week. All right, everybody. For Jim, working his magic behind the switcher, I am Bob DeMarco saying don't take dull for an answer.